الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله تعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, all praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He is worthy of being praised. We beseech Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we implore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cover and forgive us of our shortcomings and to protect us from the evil of shaitan and from the evil of ourselves. From the evil of ourselves that is manifest and harms the creation, and from the evil of ourselves that is harbored inside of us and causes us torment and friction inside. I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that the Rasul alayhi salatu wassalam is the last and final and most elect of His messengers. Says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu attaqu Allaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. O you who have attained faith, O you people of Iman, O you believers, have awe, have reverence, have fear and consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a manner which is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And die not but in a state of loving surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Die not but in a state of Islam. Die not but in a state of submission and surrender to that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves. For we cannot choose when we depart from this dimension and enter the next. We cannot choose when our soul leaves our body. But we can choose the state in which our soul leaves our body. We can choose how we live our lives and how the malaika will take our souls. And we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us from amongst those who receive the greeting of salam from the malaika. And as we know, this life is a test, and the culmination of this test will be judgment. And our actions will define what that judgment will be like. And Allah explicitly tells us that He has created life and death لِيَبْلُوكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا, so that He may try and test us to see which from amongst us is best in deed, is best in action. How will we spend our time? What will we do? And of course, no two people are the same in the actions that they choose and the course that they choose in this life. And part of the journey in terms of having the correct vision to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to make sure we are asking the right questions, to make sure we have the right mentality. For having the right mentality enables the person to pursue in the correct way and to pursue with a vision. And we fall victim as Muslims. It's not something that's immune because we are Muslims, that Muslims will sometimes ask the wrong question and be diverted from the greater issue. For a Sahabi did ask the Rasul ﷺ, مَتَى السَّاعَةِ, when is the hour? And the Rasul ﷺ replied by saying, وَيْلَكَ وَمَا أَعْدَدْتُ لَهَا, and what have you prepared for it? Woe to you, what have you prepared for it? In this mild rebuke, the Rasul ﷺ is diverting the Sahabi, and by extension anyone who sees this, or anyone who can benefit from this, and we ask that we can benefit from this, what the real question is. Not when is the hour, but what have we prepared for the hour? What good is the day of judgment for us if it's today or years from now, if we are not ready for it, if we are not ready to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And in terms of having this mindset, this should engender an energy inside of somebody to also propel somebody to work and strive for the right things. And we will try to draw parallels between some secular pursuits and some spiritual pursuits to drive this message home today. And of course, to reach the lofty heights that are only accompanied by those who are very special in their worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it requires a pure soul. And it requires consistent and devout struggle in worship to perfect your worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And let us look how those who struggle for pursuits in this life achieve that, and project that, of course, into the spiritual sense. If we're to consider the example of a runner, and how a runner prepares, and how a runner prepares himself for his race that he is about to run, we'll see that not every runner is the same. The one who comes to the race dressed in clothes suitable, an attire suitable for running the race, is not like the person who comes in the clothes that I am wearing right now, despite maybe both actually being athletes. And even if both people are wearing the same clothes and wearing proper running shoes, they are not the same if one has stretched and warmed up and the other is just coming last minute right before the race. And even if they are both stretched and warmed up, they are not the same if one of them is feeding his body the right nutrition and is resting properly before the race, whereas the other person is partying the night before, or feeding his body foods that are injurious and harmful to athletic performance. And even if all of those things are the same, the two athletes are not the same if one is coached better, if one practices harder. And surely you can see in the example of these two that one has perhaps won the race before it has even started, and the other person has lost the race on account of their faulty preparation. Projected in the spiritual realm, how do we approach our salah? How do we approach our ibadah? The person who is here before the adhan is called is not like the person who is here in terms of their preparation, and there are exceptions, as the one who is coming at the time of the iqamah, or at the time of entering salah of takbiratul ihram, or joining the salah late. And even if two people are here from the moment of adhan, the person who is in dhikr is not like the person who is talking in the lobby or on their phone. And the two people who are even in dhikr, the one who feels a spiritual closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is not like the one who is moving their lips but their heart and mind are elsewhere. And of course, the examples are many. The one who is splashing the water on themselves for wudu as a mechanical act is not like the one who views it as a spiritual institution and a physical and spiritual cleansing station for where, when I am washing the dirt and dust off of my arms and forehead, that I am also washing sins off of my body. The person who views it as something just to do versus someone to actually get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and part and parcel to having a close relationship and a successful salah. These are very different people. And I will provide an anecdote. A couple months back, I was hiking in the Catskills with my wife, and we were at the top of a waterfall where there was a basin of water. And there were some foreigners, of which one lady jumped into a pond of water. And it was a little cold that day, so it was kind of a strange thing. And her friends asked her what she's doing. And she turns to them after washing her face with water saying, "You have no idea how good this feels. You have no idea how refreshing this feels," as she is washing her face with water. And at that moment, I was happy for her, and then I had a realization on the inside of how much shortchanging are we doing to ourselves with the wudu that we make, with the salah that we do. Why have I and others reduced wudu to a mechanical thing and not feeling refreshed and feeling so alive and feeling so pure after that act? A non-Muslim doing those actions, not even in preparation to salah, will feel alive and refreshed. So how about us who are trying to meet and prepare to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's just something to reflect upon, of course. And as we said, there are levels in wudu, there are levels in salah. And not everyone is at the same level of spiritual fitness, of course. Going back to the example of the runner, in preparation before the race, and then we'll talk about in preparation directly before and in terms of beginning the salah. Now that the runner is set and his nutrition is intact and he is ready for the race, you will see before the race actually starts how they actually go through the motions of running. The runner will run at 50% of their physical capacity to acclimatize their body for the race, to build muscle tension. Then they will run at 75%. Then they will run at 85%. And then they will do a mock run as if they are actually running the true race. Why are they doing this? Multiple reasons. To make sure their body is physically ready for that race. Because they have one shot. That race is their fard. That race is their wajib. That race is the one thing they cannot mess up. And so in their warm-ups, it's natural that there are thoughts of the outside world that will corrupt the thought process of the athlete. And so let those thoughts be in the mind of the person during the warm-ups. Let those thoughts corrupt the things that are not obligatory to that person. So when the race comes, you'll notice they're in the bricks and they are ready to begin their race with complete serenity of mind, body, and soul. And they are ready to compete. And their body is calm and their eyes are closed and their eyes are low. In what we call khushu', in what we call concentration. And so when it comes to our fard in salah, when it comes to our fard in sawm, we have a similar concept, of course. And we don't need this concept from the outside world to understand it. But we talked about how we prepare in wudu. We talked about how we're getting ready to be in the masjid early and to do dhikr, wearing good clothes, smelling appropriately for the masjid. But we go through the motions of the fard salah before the fard salah, don't we? We have our sunnah salahs. We have the salahs before the actual fard. And it happens to everyone, that sometimes thoughts from our workplace, thoughts from something else will corrupt our minds. let that dilute the quality of the sunnah, so that when we approach the fard, those thoughts are gone and I'm fully ready for this one shot to complete this fard and give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala my full and undivided concentration and attention. And so when we say Allahu Akbar, when that salah begins, I am not just saying it as a lip service. In my mind and heart, I feel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that moment is indeed Akbar, is indeed greater than anything else. For I myself and you, sometimes we fall short in this, and while we say Allahu Akbar, there are other things in our mind. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness of those shortcomings. And the person who prepares in that way in their salah, what a salah that is. The person who's prepared in their preparation, and when they meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in salah, whether they're in a time of struggle or in a time of happiness, they feel comfortable perhaps. They feel calm. They feel secure. They will cry tears of happiness or sorrow or pain with the one whom they know understands them. The one they know who knows their hal and put them in that hal and can remove that hal. And they feel a sense of security. And you know, it's interesting if we actually reflect upon something external to worship. If you look back to the athletic realm, this past summer, two things happened in terms of the NBA Finals, when Cleveland won the championship, and the Copa America, when Argentina lost the championship. The best player on both teams. LeBron James, after winning the championship, he falls in sujood, and he's crying and weeping. Leo Messi, after losing the championship, falls in sujood, and he's crying and weeping. One is crying and weeping out of happiness. One is crying and weeping out of pain. Allah has created the human being to find comfort in that position of sujood. Whether or not the person devotes actual worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, any human being finds comfort in that position. And Allah has allowed us and given us the permission and guided us to be here and to come to the masjid and to have masajid. And He has made it obligatory upon us for our benefit to complete this institution. And if we truly love it, then of course we will do extra. And of course we will do extra. And now once that salah has finished, and once the race has been run, you will notice that it's not over for the runner. Now the race has been run. The runner doesn't just go back to their regular life. The runner now engages in what is called the cool down, where they actually continue to run for a little bit, to recalibrate their body to the regular world. They will run at 85% and 70% and 50% to relieve the muscle tension, to prevent soreness from the next race that may build up if the person just leaves after running at 100%. The body has just exerted tremendous energy and output. You have to take care of it now. And the runner realizes that the next race starts when this race ends. And in order for the runner to perform at their peak fitness come the next race, they have to take care of themselves from the end of this race. And in our worship, of course, in our salah, of course, we have sunan after salah, whether that is in prayer, or that is in dhikr, or that is in whatever it may be. There are other things that we must offer to, of course, protect our salah. The sunnah before the salah will perhaps protect the beginning of our salah, but our thoughts may re-enter our mind towards the tail end of our salah. It may begin to wander towards what is after the salah. But if we know sunnah is coming after the salah, then if it does wander, it wanders to the sunnah, not to my work. Not to whatever mundane issue I may have. And of course, the person who prepares themselves from the beginning to the end of that act of worship will truly be able to follow the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when He says, فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةِ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. And when salah has finished, then disperse you people, O you people, in the land, and seek the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The person who has tied themselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very closely and intimately in salah, when salah is over, they will go about their regular affairs with an eye seeking to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the interactions with the creation. So I ask that myself and you will be able to have this viewpoint and this vision in terms of our interactions. Let us perfect our salah and perfect that which is obligatory, and then by extension, by perfecting our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be able to perfect our relationship with the creation. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم من كل ذنب فاستغفروه تجدوه غفورا رحيما. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد. A reflection in closing from something that I myself must improve upon. وما أبرئ نفسي. A few months ago, I had this reflection when I went to the soccer field to play. I went 30 minutes early to warm up, and I stayed 15-20 minutes late to cool down. The body's getting older, the muscles must be stretched, you don't want to pull anything, you don't want to get hurt. And in thinking to myself, I was wondering, when was the last time I treated my salah this way? I turned up 30 minutes early to the masjid so that my salah would not be corrupted. When was the last time I stayed 15-30 minutes late after the salah? Not mingling with people in the lobby, staying in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what of course is more important? We know the answer. We know the answer. This is something I myself must improve upon, and I'm sure others need to improve upon it. So this is a reminder to everyone, and I ask that everyone takes this reminder. And just to conclude, of course, we talked about how to prepare for that which is most important, the obligatory actions. And that comes with preparing and having the right mindset, the right vision beforehand. Protecting that fard with the sunnah that come before it and the sunnah that come after it. So that when that one opportunity comes in salah, we are ready and we are fully able to devote our actions and concentration to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات اللهم كن مع المستضعفين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها اللهم كن لهم ناصرا ومؤيدا ومعافى Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, allow us to worship you in the way that you deserve. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, help us liberate our minds and souls so that when we meet you in worship we are able to give you full devotion. Enable us to permanently improve the quality of our worship. عباد الله إن الله يأمركم بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي